Basic vocabulary with example sentences. Number 1, rich. Rich. Rich means having a lot of money or valuable possessions. Rich. He's the third richest man in the country. They are one of the world's richest nations. He is determined to get rich quickly. She is one of the richest women in the country, so be careful with the pronunciation. You say women, women, women. She is one of the richest women in the country. She came out of the divorce settlement, a rich woman. Rich, rich. The opposite is going to be poor. Next one, poor, poor. It's not poor, it's poor, poor. Poor means having little money and or few possessions. Most of the world's poorest countries are in Africa. He came from a poor immigrant family. Her family was poor and didn't own a computer. Fair trade is about giving poor people power. When he started, he was just a poor boy from the slums. Poor. Poor. The opposite is going to be rich. Poor, rich. Number 3, empty. Empty. Empty is an adjective with 2 syllables. Empty. So you don't have to say empty. So P is more like a silent. Empty. Accent on the first syllable. Empty. You don't have to say empty. Say empty. P as in silent. Empty means not containing any things or people. The opposite will be full. Empty, full. The house has been empty for years. Shall I take the empty bottles for recycling? Put the empty box in the recycle bin. The room was totally empty. I pulled into the empty parking space. Empty. The next one, full. Full. As we have studied, empty is the opposite. Empty. Full means of a container or a space holding or containing as much as possible or a lot. Full. This cup is very full, so be careful with it. My plate was already full. I tried to get in the cinema last night, but it was full. Don't talk with your mouth full. The shelves were full of books. Full. The next word is old. So this is not old, so you need to say old, old. Old is the opposite of young. Number 1 and number 2. And new. New and old. Young and old and new and old. Old means having lived or existed for many years. We are all getting older. So the opposite is going to be young. We don't get any younger. We don't get any younger. Y-O-U-N-G-E-R. So this is the opposite. Number 2, I was shocked by how old he looked. So this opposite is going to be young. I was shocked by how old he looked. And number 3, you're old enough to tie your own shoelaces, Carlos. So this old means mature, mature, and then can be the opposite of young. Number 4, I am too old to be out in the clubs every night. So the opposite again, young, sorry, young. And number 5, he has a beautiful old farmhouse in the country. So this one can be the opposite of new. He has a beautiful old farmhouse in the country. Old. And number 6, new. New. New means recently created or having started to exist recently. New. What have they decided to name the new baby? She's very creative and always coming up with new ideas. By the way, the opposite of new is old. Okay. And number 3, what's new in the fashion world? Number 4, we have to invest in new technology if we are to remain competitive. New.